when and how to trim a tree. We're going to show you the right way, and you don't have to be an expert. It's pretty simple. So here's some of the tools that you can use for trimming or pruning trees on the homestead. We'll start with the smallest and go to the biggest. The first one here is a good pair of bypass pruners. They make anvil pruners and they make bypass pruners. I prefer the bypass pruners because they do a little cleaner job with the cut, I think. And these particular ones right here, they got a little spring on them that keeps opening back up, got a lock on them. These are handy, they're small to keep in your garden shed so that you can prune those small branches whenever you need to. Well, here's probably one of my favorite ones right here. This is called a folding saw. And if you've never used a folding saw before, you're missing out in life. Everybody needs to keep one of these in the garden shed or their truck. And this saw folds, as the name implies, and it comes out with a blade there. So it's nice and compact, don't take up a lot of room. Now this baby right here is wonderful for trimming bigger limbs, and you would be surprised how fast you can cut a limb with this saw right here. We'll demonstrate in a little bit, but these things are awesome, and they're really inexpensive. There's no excuse why somebody shouldn't have at least one folding saw on the homestead. And we have a pair of loppers here. Loppers are really good for reaching up places that you can't get to very easy with the folding saw or the hand pruners here. We have that long handle there so we can reach up there and get them. Now these are also bypass instead of anvil type, and these are the ones I prefer here. This is ones we actually sell on our Hoss website. Now this is a commercial grade pruner here that the guys use in the orchards. This has this aluminum handle on there, and this is a very high quality lopper made in the USA, which I'm kind of partial to. And these things, if took care of, will last for years. Now here's a product right here I didn't have a lot of faith in when they first come out, but I have completely changed my mind. This is one of those new electric chainsaws, or battery operated chainsaws, I guess I should say. And it uses the same battery that my cordless drill or other tools use, so I get to use these dual purpose. Now these things are wonderful for about 45 minutes an hour. You're gonna do some light pruning around the homestead, this is the ticket. Now you don't wanna make a living pulpwooding with these things or cutting firewood, but for light pruning, I think they're ideal. Now always crank up when you mash that button, as long as you got power in that battery there. Keep that sharp, and you can grab this thing in a minute and get your pruning done to be done with it. Now here's the trusty old gas chainsaw that we all got. These things work good, but the problem with them is we don't use them enough. You go out there once a year to crank this thing up to do your pruning, and you spend more time working on it than you do cutting. You know, probably everybody should own one and should keep it up, but the reality in life is sometimes we let things go by the wayside and we don't keep these things up and maintain like we should. So when we go to grab them to do some light pruning, doesn't work. We have to carry them to the shop, or we have to work on them ourselves. That's the reason I like the battery powered one for light pruning. It's really pretty simple to prune or trim correctly. The only technical term you're gonna need to know is collar. And that's what this right here is called. It's called a collar. If pruned correctly, this collar will eventually close this wound up so that there's nothing exposed there, and it'll heal over completely just like it should. Now here's a cut that was made on this tree earlier in life, and it was made correctly and it healed over just like it should. See how that collar moved around over that cut and closed it up so that you barely knew it was even there. That is a correct cut, and that is the correct way the tree should heal over the cut. This was pretty close to being a correct cut. This side was good, but this side was not. To be a correct cut, it would come over like this right here a little bit further and wouldn't have this protruding out there, and those collars would come out and heal over a lot quicker than what this one will. Now here's an example of a bad prune or a bad cut. See how it was cut so that the rain's gonna come down and go into that wound there and rot that wound out, and it's gonna have an opening there for disease and insect problems. It should have been cut at an angle like this right here so it could collar over and heal, and all these suckers would never come out. An example of what happens when you do make a bad cut is right here where all these suckers come out. A good cut's going to heal over completely and going to minimize these suckers out that somebody's going to have to come back and prune back off. And this is going to open this tree up for decay, insect and disease problems. We're going to make 3 different prunes on this tree right here using all 3 of my most favorite pruning tools. And regardless of what tool we use, the technique's always the same. We've got to work with the collar. So I'm going to go right here where the collar comes out, and I'm going to prune that off. Now, I don't make an undercut with these. I just kind of clip them off. With my loppers also, I won't make an undercut. When I get to my bigger limbs, that's where the undercut comes in really important. So that's going to heal off real nice right there. Some people have a tendency, especially with these loppers, to go out there and make a cut like that. You know, I've been guilty of doing that when I was in a hurry trying to get a nuisance limb out of my way, but that's the wrong cut right here. This is the correct way you want to use your loppers. There again, we find our collar area there, come in here, and we clip it straight down. We've got a nice flat cut. Now, as the limbs get bigger, we got to think about undercuts. So I'm going to use my folding saw on this limb because it's a little too big for my loppers. Find my good cut area there where my collar's going to heal up at. Do my undercut, go about 3/4 of the way, well, excuse me, 1/4 of the way through that limb there. Then I'm going to come back on the top, try to line it up best I can. And there we have a pretty clean cut there. Here's a couple more examples. Incorrect pruning, correct pruning. Incorrect, correct. Incorrect, correct. All right, so let's take this limb here off. This limb was pruned incorrectly, just chopped off right there. Therefore, we got decay on the end, and we got all these suckers that come out. This limb is never going to materialize what we want it to be because of all this right here. So we're going to go back to the trunk, and we're going to take this limb out correctly. All right, so I'm going to use my folding saw, but whether you use a chainsaw or a folding saw, the technique's the same. The first thing you want to do is find out where your collar cut needs to be. And if you can see right here, it needs to be right here at this angle. The reason is when it rains, water's not going to settle in on that cut, and this is going to be the ideal spot where those collars can come out and close that wound up. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is what we call undercut, and I'm going to cut underneath here where I want my cut to be. And the reason I'm going to do that, if I started at the top and come most of the way through, that limb would fall over and it would strip my bark off back, causing a bigger wound. I want to minimize the wound, so I'm going to do my undercut so I don't get that stripping of the bark after I make my top cut. So that's pretty much what you want, is a good smooth cut. Neither side sticking out too much. I had to come on this side, trim a little bit off. Now that wound there should collar over and should heal up nicely. And this is a great example of one that's completely healed up. This prune was done correctly a few years ago, and it completely healed up, and the wound is gone, and the tree has worked its way over so nothing is exposed. Now this method is mainly for nuisance limbs. Limbs that have gotten out of the way, they're down in your way as you walk by, they're hitting your equipment. Limbs that need to be pruned up so they don't get in your way. Also, it could be used for crossing limbs. Not necessarily for fruit trees where you're trying to maximize yield. That's a whole different video. But this is a great technique done correctly that you can prune your nuisance limbs, the tree heals over correctly, and everybody's happy.